What's the scariest thing that's ever woken you up during the middle of the night? My boyfriend screaming at me to wake the fuck up. Was a car on fire pretty much right outside our bedroom window. How I managed to sleep through the exploding tire sound is beyond me. That shit was loud. My daughter burst into my room in the very early morning, still dark outside, and says brother's name. Won't wake up. I fly out of bed, freaking out, thinking my baby boy is dead. No, he just was very comfortably asleep, and she wanted to play with him. I was 11. Woke up to the sound of screaming and shouting. My cousin, who was living with us, was about 17, and in my room holding the door for being opened. On the other side of the door was my mother screaming to be let in. My sister was in the bunk under mine, and she was crying. Suddenly my cousin comes to, and opens the door. My mom rushes in, and asks my cousin and us if we were okay. There was commotion in the hallway and living room, but I couldn't tell what it was. When I peeked out of the doorway I saw my stepfather holding a small .22 caliber rifle looking out the windows frantically. Suddenly cops show up, and start arresting my stepdad. My mom is yelling at the police, and I'm sitting there with my cousin and sister like WTF. We all notice the broken sliding glass door and suddenly realize there are large bullet holes all over our house, through the entertainment center, and above the couch, where my cousin was sleeping just minutes before. I guess what happened is someone was shooting at some people walking by our apartment and the stray bullets all hit our place. My cousin woke up and immediately thought people were inside shooting us, so he ran to the kids' room and kept anyone from coming in like a badass. My mom woke up and immediately thought to check on us, but couldn't get into the room because of my cousin. My stepdad grabbed his gun out of instinct. The cops showed up and assumed my stepdad was the shooter and arrested him. All in all, a pretty fun night. Woke up groggy, out of sleep paralysis. Went to push off the bed and realized my left arm is gone. There's no way, right? Maybe my arm had just fallen out. Reach over with my right arm to feel for my left arm and freak the fuck out because all I feel is my torso. Genuinely freak out for a minute, checking and rechecking. My arm is literally gone. And then I felt human skin above my head. My arm had fallen asleep over my head and behind the pillow. Apparently my armpit had played a little joke on my brain and reported back as being a shoulder stump. This past summer I woke up to the sound of someone screaming in the most horrible way. I went onto my balcony and saw a woman laying on the ground right outside my building holding her stomach with people standing around her. She got into an argument with another woman at a crosswalk and the other woman pulled a shotgun out of her trunk and shot her in the stomach. The victim survived. Edit, I'm sure the shotgun is what woke me up, but I just remember hearing the screaming. At uni, my bedroom was on the ground floor of the house. I was woken up around 4 AM by scratching and heavy breathing at my window, which I tried to ignore for 20 minutes hoping that whoever it was would fuck off. It was a long 20 minutes of trying not to shit myself. Off they did not fuck, so I decided to go out the front door to kindly ask them to cease their scratching and heavy breathing. Turned out it was one of my housemates who was absolutely off his tits, lost his keys, wallet, and phone on a night out. He thought scratching on my window would be better than knocking on the door or ringing the doorbell. Cat knocked a glass of water off my windowsill, and it landed on my head. Thought someone had broken and tried to beat me to death because I thought all the water was blood. My cat is an asshole. Bedroom attic. Cupboards built into the wall. Wake up to scratching. Thud. More scratching. Thud. More scratching. WTF is going on? One of the cupboard doors swings open on its own accord. See eyes. Then little hands. Then this dog-sized black silhouette comes out, romps around the room, out the bedroom door, downstairs. I repaired a hole in the roof that day, entombing a trash panda by accident. I made some sounds I wasn't proud of. My almost 4-year-old standing at my bedside staring right at me. Once my eyes were open she said I brought the monsters in here, then went back to bed. Thanks kid, I had you, so they'd go in your room. Year and a half ago I couldn't very comfortable in bed, so I decided to try sleeping on the couch in the living room. It was about 1 AM. I'm in that restful state of not quite dozing yet, but just about to, when I hear shuffling footsteps coming down the hallway. I wait to see which kid it is, 5-year or 8-year, and if they actually need me, or are just getting a drink or something. The footsteps shuffle past me, and to the fireplace. It's pitch black. And I hear my 5-year now talking to the fireplace. Hushedly. I have no idea what she's saying, or who she's saying it to. I'll let it go on for 3 or 4 sentences, with pauses in between, before I say her name. She stops talking, shuffles to where I'm on the couch and full body plops down onto the cushion next to me. I gasp, squeaked and waited a few minutes, before getting up to cover her. She didn't remember doing it the next day. What in the actual fuck, children?